Happy St. Patrick's Day. Don and I want to welcome you to another holiday blog. If you remember, we both did the 12 Epic Days of Christmas bourbon series. Then we also did a Valentine series. Today, it is St. Patrick's Day. We have some whiskey, Jameson whiskey variety, but being bourbon connoisseurs, we thought we'd focus on a bourbon today. And Don, why don't you introduce the bourbon you brought for everyone to try and learn about?
Well, today was kind of an honor because I got to actually supply a bourbon where usually Raj is the one supplying fantastic bourbons, so I had the opportunity to bring one. This is whiskey Kentucky Owl, and it is a St. Patrick's Day edition. And what makes it a St. Patrick's Day edition is it was a partnership between Kentucky Owl and Louise McGuane, who is a bonder in Ireland. And a little bit more about bonders in a minute, but basically she is the founder of Corry Irish Whiskey. And together what they tried to do was create some bourbon blends that was traditional Kentucky bourbon, but with an Irish whiskey flair to them. So in Ireland, a bonder is a blender. And she is one of the first modern bonders back in the Irish whiskey world. So you can't do a St. Patrick's Day version without talking about St. Patrick's Day a little bit. And we did a little bit of research, and it was amazing to me that how many places St. Patrick's Day is celebrated throughout the world. Everyone knows New York and Boston parades and many other places in America. But Raj, you had the fortunate opportunities to see it in Europe. How is it celebrated?
Right, so I spent quite a few years going to school in England, and I remember St. Patrick's Day, just like in the United States, a big bar crawl day. Everyone was out in the streets drinking at pubs. I never got the chance to go to Ireland and experience it, but I did experience it in London, and it was just like here. It's everybody goes out and enjoys a great pint of Irish whiskey or Irish beer.
Right.
But the other thing you mentioned earlier was about the blenders. If you remember, United States is the one that brought out the single barrel program. And so back in the day, whiskeys were bashed and blended, and a lot of Scotch and Irish whiskeys are really blended whiskeys versus a single barrel whiskey.
Yeah, so the other cool thing about this collaboration is once they blended the right amount of Kentucky bourbons, and it's a mixture of 4 to 8-year-old bourbons, and also there's rye and wheated bourbons in this blend. But the cool thing about it to me is Louise McGuane is going to go back, take the empty barrels to Ireland, and secondary age some Irish whiskey.
Oh, that's awesome.
In some, and a lot of Irish whiskeys and obviously Scotch use ex-bourbon barrels anyway, but there will be a continuation. The actual barrels that were used for this blend will then go into a new Irish blend. And we should really taste it.
While you're opening this, Kentucky Owl is one of my favorite rye whiskey brands. They make some awesome. Thank you. Cheers and thank you.
Cheers. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
That's a nice nose to this.
It has a very nice nose.
Had a little fruity nose to it, didn't it?
So doing the research, the rye spice, they were looking for a fruity finish to complement Irish whiskey. And recently I did a review of a new Irish whiskey that had a lot of fruit tones to it, and that's what this reminds me of.
Right.
But this is really outstanding to me.
It is, yeah. Yeah, the rye tones are a little bit subdued.
Right.
And the fruity tones really come out.
And keep in mind, there's no Irish whiskey in this blend. This is bourbons that were blended and chosen for characteristics similar to Irish whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they've done a really outstanding job.
You get a sense of apricot type flavors.
Yeah, so, and some, besides apricot, some dark, like red fruit. It's really intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
And really great legs, really good color. You know, I like Kentucky Owl products. I always have. I was interested to see what this one is, and I would tell you that I think it's sweeter than a typical Kentucky Owl, and I think that's the profile they were going for. And for those of you who don't know, Kentucky Owl is planning a big campus in Bardstown, Kentucky. I don't know what the progress is, but it's supposed to be pretty fantastic, almost like a Disneyland for adults. So even the rick houses are going to be in the form of pyramids.
Oh, really?
That's the abstract plan that I've seen. So whether or not they're going to pursue that or not, they have the property in Bardstown, and I'll be anxious to see what they do.
That's awesome. So, you know, I don't know if you know this, but Buffalo Trace has a St. Patrick's edition. Have you ever been aware of that one?
I have not.
So this is, as you can see, it's a green bottle, and I just thought I would blend the St. Patrick's Day with April Fool's Day, and combine this video to show you this is not a St. Patrick's edition, but this is a Buffalo Trace. In Europe, they sell it with the casing, and there's a regular Buffalo Trace bottle in this one. But I thought they should do this in the U.S. too. It's a beautiful.
It's very interesting.
Tube.
I had never seen it before.
Yeah.
Ever.
So, happy April Fool's Day, everyone, also.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you get a chance to try this, it's really worth trying. And we tried to bring you a little bit of St. Patrick's Day with bourbon, and this is one way to do it. And it's interesting the way Raj laid out these little bottles, because it's a really good way for you to introduce yourself to a product. If you don't want to buy a $50, $60, $100 bottle, a lot of times you can find these smaller bottles, and it gives you a chance to taste the spirit.
That's exactly why I bought these. It's just the variety, and then when you taste them together, you get the different flavors.
Exactly.
And the depth. Yep.
Raj, thank you for doing this again.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Till the next one.